next pitch is Marc Lowe, who's the CEO at Capaciti. Capaciti is the world's premier decentralized project marketplace for the enterprise. We connect clients seeking design and development talent with the world's best design and development companies. They are a B2B marketplace for professional services. Can you please give Marc Lowe a very warm welcome to the stage?
Hello. My name is Marc Lowe, CEO and co-founder of Capaciti. And just before I begin, I want to say to our Korean hosts, it's such a thrill and honor to be here. As a young boy, I can still remember watching the Seoul Olympics, and you should be very proud of the event that you've just hosted. The story of Capaciti begins in 2013. I was hired by Deloitte to execute on a fairly large mandate to reimagine how Deloitte could reinvent itself as a business spread globally, 190 countries, but with no employees, using only freelancers and on-demand talent. That was a tremendous professional experience, and it also gave us a very unique insight into how large enterprises procure services and what are the challenges associated with that. What we learned as part of that process is that it wasn't so much that you can't find people, so if you want a Java developer for 2 weeks, you can find that person. The challenge was to get stuff done right and get it done on time, and to do that at scale with a repeatable process. In fact, for an enterprise, it's extremely difficult because the hurdle is actually trust, right? Trust that the person that you're going to engage with or the company that you're going to engage with is who they say they are, that the work that they've done previously to that, their portfolio is vetted and true, and that basically you're going to get back what you're contracted to do. So there are some very large incumbent traditional platforms in the space. These are brands that you will probably be familiar with. And the joke that we always tell internally is that these are great for one-offs, but not for scale. In other words, if you are an entrepreneur and you think you've got the idea for the next Facebook and you want to put $10,000 on one of these platforms and get an MVP built, they're great. But if you are Facebook and you have thousands of mission-critical projects to execute on and you need top talent to do that, you're not going to use these platforms. Now, fast forward about 4 years, my co-founder Steve Davis and I created Capaciti to try to solve this problem. We wanted to do two things. We wanted to create a mechanism that enterprises could use to leverage global talent and to do it at scale. And we also wanted to create a mechanism that would unlock this global talent pool that we all know exists, right? Despite my Canadian accent, I'm a first-generation South African immigrant, and I know firsthand that if you're sitting in South Africa, as an example, or South Korea, it's highly unlikely you're going to get access to deal flow for a company that's based in America, Canada, or Europe. You're just geographically too far apart. So we wanted to create this platform to solve this problem. We wanted to create a platform that solved three main challenges. The first was scale. So we wanted to create that mechanism that businesses could use on a repeatable basis, and not just do one project at a time, but literally hundreds or sometimes even thousands of projects, whether they were a few $1,000s or hundreds of thousands of dollars. A platform that enabled enterprises to do that with tremendous speed, right? So not only in terms of being able to get to the first lines of code quickly, but also with a mechanism that allowed those projects to progress at a speed that was actually going to create value for the enterprise. And most importantly, a mechanism that gave enterprises the trust they needed to be able to engage with great development talent wherever it happened to sit in the world. So the solution that we created is the Capaciti platform. And it sits really at the intersection of two protocols. One is a trust and reputation protocol, which is really talking to how we actually vet and manage this pool of development agencies. And the second is a marketplace protocol that interacts with that and creates a mechanism by which enterprises actually leverage that talent. And we use a token to do this. Now, the Capaciti token is one side, which is actually the public-facing token that we are going to issue in our TGE. And the second is an internal reputation token. The Capaciti token is the token that enterprises use to actually unlock the value that's resident in the ecosystem of development agencies that we curate. And the reputation token is the one that actually is earned on the basis of the contractual obligations that are being fulfilled. So as an enterprise loads a scope of work onto the platform, smart contracts guide the execution of that work. And as businesses are executing against that scope, the quality with which they provide that work earns them those reputation tokens. Now, the reputation tokens must be staked in order to actually get access to the next deal flow. So the better your reputation score on the platform, the more likely you are to be able to get the next piece of work. And also within that same pool of agencies, they're actually providing a quorum mechanism to adjudicate the smart contracts. And all of those actions are, again, earning them reputation tokens. Those reputation tokens decay over time, and what that does is incentivizes businesses to continue delivering in the marketplace in the same way that, you know, a business that was delivering great stuff in the 90s, probably not that relevant today. Same kind of idea here. And businesses that are earning those reputation tokens can also exchange those back for capacity tokens at a 1 to 100 ratio. So it allows them to actually monetize the reputation that they're earning. The business that we're talking about is actually a business that's in field currently with some amazing enterprise clients already that are leveraging the marketplace side of the protocol. So in other words, a smart contracting mechanism. And what we're busy building out is the reputation protocol, pardon me. And really what we're trying to do is, again, create that mechanism that, you know, great brands like the likes of Deloitte, Vodacom, Barclays, and others can leverage. So we've been very fortunate out the gates with a great suite of clients, and we look forward to building on that further. And we're in discussions with 2 of the big 4 consulting firms to actually leverage our mechanism as a full-time install. I'm tremendously fortunate to be able to be surrounded by a great team to actually help us execute this. Folks that have done extensive tours of duty in the technology space. Ryan Santalera, our CTO, was building platforms for SAP, which not a great decentralized application, but certainly very familiar with building large platforms that need to scale, and some fantastic developers that actually help us bring this to life. From the advisory side, what we've done has been very conscious of getting a group of advisors that not only help us in the blockchain community, but also provide relevant insight for our business. So we're very aware that this is, as much as anything, a change management issue in terms of our ability to sell into enterprise. And we also want to be very aware of what we're doing from a technology standpoint. So we're very, very fortunate with respect to that. In terms of our TGE, 100 million tokens will be minted as part of the TGE. Approximately half of those are sold in the TGE itself. This discount schedule is available there. For the founders and for the advisory team, we're locking up for 240 days and then unlocking slowly over that period of time. But the investors investing in the TGE, of course, have no lockup. A quick view of our token allocation. The vast majority of the use of funds is going to actually develop the project and the product itself. And finally, just as I'm conscious of the clock, looking at our roadmap. So we are already using some of the technology internally. We're building out additional pieces now. We are involved in the private sale currently. The public pre-sale will be starting in April. And we'll be releasing the platform first to our existing suite of clients, and then starting to beta test it further with a handful of clients into Q4 of this year, looking to ramp our sales and marketing efforts in 2019 and beyond. As I mentioned, the private sale is currently open, and we'd love to engage with any conversations that you'd like to have in that regard, and our public sale will begin April 15th. Thank you very much for your time.